mais de 50 anos, a Zona Franca de Manaus propagou na região um modelo econômico com base em tecnologia, desenvolvimento, sustentabilidade e incentivos fiscais. O modelo econômico será impactado com a nova reforma tributária que deve ser votada no Congresso Nacional. A proposta mostra que este é o momento para a revitalização da Zona Franca de Manaus e seus incentivos, garantindo a sua sustentabilidade dentro de novas alternativas econômicas que aliem a tecnologia e a bioeconomia. Para discutir os impactos da reforma tributária na Zona Franca, as alternativas econômicas baseadas na bioindústria, o Tribunal de Contas realiza no dia 28 de agosto a Webconferência Zona Franca de Manaus, Sustentabilidade e Bioeconomia. Para o TCE, é fundamental aliar o crescimento econômico com o bem-estar social e a qualidade ambiental no Amazonas. Especialistas participarão das conferências e debates. É hora de mostrar que o portfólio de produtos da indústria pode ser agregado com a utilização da biodiversidade amazônica para o desenvolvimento nacional.
Estou sem áudio. Ele não ligou. Ele já está falando? Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We are starting now the web conference approach the Manaus Free Zone Sustainability and Bioeconomy. It's my pleasure as the President of the Audit Court of the State of Amazonas to greet all the advisors and members of this court and for so I'll do it through my dear friend and advisor of this audit court, Honorable Júlio de Assis Pinheiro. I would like also to add that I greet all the lecturers of this event that for sure will be approaching important topics that for our better understanding of the local reality. The Honorable Mauro Campbell from the Superior High Court, and I take this opportunity to congratulate him for his appointment to the vacant place as a member of the electoral a new member of the electoral court. This is a reason for pride of all the locals in Manaus and the state of Amazonas and Brazil. We are very well. We are in good hands. So Senator Carlos Eduardo Braga, Antônio Carlos Silva, President of the Industry Federation of the State of Amazonas, Honorable Sérgio Leitão, lawyer and CEO of the Escolhas Institute, Honorable His Excellency Dennis Benchimol, businessman and CEO of the Bemol Group. And I thank all of you, all the authorities, all the members of society that are now in our audience. And I would like to congratulate all of you that have contributed for the realization of this event. It's on our agenda a topic that will base all our debates today. The economic model of Amazonia and specifically the state of Amazonas has developed helped the state develop in the past And we would like to remind you that this model was focusing on our vocations and the rubber business. In 1876, before they took the seeds of the rubber tree, Brazil was supplying 95% of the world's latex and 50% of the national gross product was from this activity. They built Manaus. They built a new Manaus with beautiful buildings, and some of them are still here as a witness of this historic past. Let me mention the custom house building and the beautiful residences that are still here and being showed to our visitors. The floating dock. So this is still possible to see, and when we see old pictures of Manaus that are available internet, we understand why Manaus was called the Paris of the tropics. Then came the fall, and there was despair, and all of this because at that moment of prosperity, those supposed to lead the policies, they forgot to think in a different economical matrix. It was a very serious mistake because when there was prosperity, just like we read in the Bible, was Joseph that took the right steps to supply the difficult time. The advent of the Manaus Free Zone brought, in truth, a lot of progress and fantastic advances to the city. It offered 100,000 jobs to start off, and a lot of industries came and to compose the industrial district. 50 years later of the beginning of the Manaus Free Zone, even though some have tried to establish new projects, there was no progress, or even an alternative industrial model was not created based on our natural resources. The result was that nowadays we are living a dilemma after the rubber boom area, and the question is what to do if the free zone is extinguished. There are some advantages on our favor. There's the possibility that we don't write that history again. We can take the right steps now. Tourism, the forest products, mining, gas natural gas is available. The pharmaceuticals, the fish, the water courses, and so many other possibilities are in our hands, and it all depends on our work. And us from the Amazon, we are sitting on a precious treasure of the planet Earth, and this is the way that will take us to the future. We have to move on, fighting for the Manaus Free Zone, treating it differently, preservating the advantages, and this is a matter of survival. So we have immediately to create the necessary conditions for the heavy investment in bioeconomy. And everything that regards the wealth of the region, preferably we should include the immensity of the Manaus hinterland, the state of Amazonas hinterland, in this ambitious and very precious project. So I go back to Professor Samuel Benchimol, a great intellectual, and he said that it's vital that we promote the intelligent occupation of the Amazon. And this will only happen if the strategy that we lay in practice is economically viable, ecologically right, and politically balanced and socially fair, and efficient. This in the scenario of important historical reality of the free zone after in the post-pandemic area. We are here gathered with lecturers and personalities that have the expertise in all the topics that will be covered here. And then this is exactly what's going to happen. We will talk about action. They will show us the way for that we should take to find to start the process of changes, positive changes that will benefit the development of our region. There's an old Oriental saying that all the flowers of the future are within the seeds of today. And today, here, in this historical event, that can change and bring a lot of goodness to the Amazon and also to the Amazonians that live here. So I wish you a great event. And I pass the floor to Advisor Júlio de Assis Correia, head of the auditing department and the Department of Projects, Environmental Projects, and also coordinator of this event. So I pass the floor to Júlio Pinheiro and invite him to mediate this event. Good morning, all. After this this speech from our president, Mário Melo, maybe I could add some words concerning to specify this web conference that will approach a very important topic to all Brazilians, especially for us that live in the Amazon. And of course, we are going to be covering alternative discussions and also always concerned that we will not cause any impact to our bioma and based on bioeconomy, because we are focusing on post 2073 when it's planned to finish this is the deadline for the survival of the free zone. And sustainability and bioeconomy are crucial for this project. This project was created by a decree 288, creating a free zone for importing and exporting, fiscal incentives for the creation in the interior of the Amazon of an industrial center that could hold economical conditions for development, and all based on the local realities and the distances that characterize the state of Amazonas from other states. So this project have been changed along the years that it as exists. There's a political war going on, mostly involving the fiscal incentives that we conquered after the decree 288. So this will be the object of the discussion involving the monetary reform that are being planned now. Like it was mentioned by President Mário Melo that in 2006, and the Manaus Free Zone was registered a new record of production with more than $2 billion. So this shows that the model is a success as far as the economical results, and this benefit the Brazil economy. And today, the model is really being is weakening, and the regional development was responsible for 97% of the economical activities in the state of Amazonas. We need urgently for a new fresh air, so to face all the threats that we have against the job and income. Unfortunately, this has been happening. So the Amazonas Audit Court is doing this web conference based on this theme. And all we want is to promote a discussion that will result in convincing all Brazilians, and also to enhance the model. So we want to see new ways and possibilities to develop a project that is very important to all of us. And of course, I'm talking about the activities that are produced with the forest products. It has based on one single principle, the local economy. So starting the discussions, we want to have a see a bright light in the end of the tunnel. So that's why we're discussing these topics here, not only for the locals but also for all of Brazil. Brazil will only play its role on the Agenda 21 signed in Paris if the Manaus Free Zone, and this is the extent of our responsibility, if we get a different treatment. That is not the same that we gained in the past when the law decree 288 was signed. So we have to produce based on our economical vocation, and focusing on the bio industry for cosmetics, and also on the potentialities of fishery and water. So the Amazonas Unit Audit Court has invited all these scientists and specialists that are renowned, and they're here with us this morning. And I'm referring to Minister Mauro Campbell, Professor Doutora Marisa Campbell, Sérgio Leitão. And as a debaters, we'll, to enhance this discussion, we have the president of the Industry Federation, Antonio Silva, businessman Denis Mineves, that is also an advisor of the Sustainable Amazon Agency, and the Senator Eduardo Braga. This is what I have to say, but I want to say again to all of you, the Manaus Free Zone needs to have a new vision create a new vision for all the Brazilians as a way that we have a way based on the way we preserve the forest, and this is how we should push it on to the future, so our natural biome can be preserved, but ensured fundamentally that the peoples of the forest, the forest inhabitants cannot be forgotten, so we can promote sustainable development and ensuring to these Brazilians a better life quality. And then to start our web conference, I would like to pass the floor to Minister Mauro Campbell. He's the Minister of the Justice High Court since 2008. He is graduated in judicial science. He's a member of the Special Court of the Superior Court. He's the president of the Permanent Commission for the Spurocrash. He's a member of the National Council for Human Rights, and he's also a member of the National Council for Justice since 2018. He's also a member of the Academy of Tributary Academy. Since 2017, he speaks English. He graduated in 1985. So I pass the floor to Minister Mauro Campbell Marques to start his program and share his knowledge with us. With the floor, Mauro Campbell. Good morning. It's a pleasure, a renewed pleasure to be here through the internet And I would like to greet the Audit Court of the State of Amazonas for this brilliant initiative. And this is to pass through our beliefs as Amazonians based on a project that is socially just, ecologically friendly, sustainable, and profitable to as far as all the development point of view. So please, can you turn on your camera, because we are not able to see you, sir. Okay, can you see me now? I apologize. You haven't missed a lot, but as I was saying, I was saluting the president of the Audit Court of the State of Amazonas, Mario Melo, and I salute all the advisors, all the members of the court, and also his honorable representatives from the audit court. And I want to greet advisor Júlio Pinheiro, a very good friend. I will not tell you for how long we are friends, so I don't want his age revealed. I want to say how happy I am to be here together with good friends that for sure with me, Rita Koch, Vesser, Sérgio Leitão, certainly we will try to reach the goal of this event that is so important to all the Amazonian people, to the indigenous people, to the natives of the forest, for the people that live in the Amazon as a whole. I would like to salute Senator Eduardo Braga, Dr. Antonio Silva, President of the Industry Federation of the State of Amazonas, dear friend, and Dennis Menev. I look at Dennis and I feel old because I was present at his parents' wedding. So his family has a lot of merits. They started way back working in the interior of the Amazon. So they have laid their roots here in the Amazon and developed the Amazon together. So many other people. So, Dennis, I'm very happy to have you here, and I know you're carrying the torch now that was given to you by your family members, and this is something that we should all be proud of. So please give my best to your parents. So greeting all of you. I have asked Júlio Pinheiro the coordinators advise me as far as my time is concerned, 20 minutes, and to make sure they point out to me that it's time to wrap up. So I collected some data, and I want to sum up. I think that my lecture is done after listening to what President Mario Melo said. We are from the Amazon. I am a native of Manaus, and we are people that, like Senator Eduardo Braga, we were able to visit all the state of Amazonas, the largest state in Brazil, and I think that what we learned about the state, my vision, I should share with the viewers of this web conference. And this topic, the Manaus Free Zone, is very important that we can share the historical vision of our goals during this this conference. that is socially friendly as well. So during all the talks and web conferences that I had with the Minister of the Supreme Court, when we were discussing the demands for the Manaus Free Zone, and which would be good for the people of the Amazon, I also I passed on to them the historical sum up, just like President Mario Melo just did. So the law that established the Manaus Free Zone was written in 1957. So it was during the time 1912 to 1957. We were just lost in the wild with nothing to do, no development. So I was born in 1963. But the fact is, during this time, we had only 100 and something inhabitants in Manaus. So this was the population back in 1957. So when Congressman Pereira Silva proposed the law 288 that established the free zone, we in 1958-59, the General Humberto Castelo Branco arrived in Manaus, and this visit had a very important role to incentivize the establishment of this new public policy that is reflected on the free zone, Manaus Free Zone project. Because Humberto Castelo Branco became the region commander, the military region commander. So he decided to stay more time than he was supposed to in Manaus. So he experienced our reality. So the generation before us, from 1957 to 1967, when the free zone was effectively implemented, what the authorities, the judges, the judges of the High Court, they used to go and walk in a line to get their pay, their monthly pay, which was located and they had to negotiate 40% of their gain, and this is how it used to be. There was no environmental vision that was involved the project in the Stockholm conference in 1972. Until then, there was no environmental vision or mentality. So the three great phases of the Manaus Free Zone on the first of them, from 67 to 75, we had the agencies that imported the home utensils. So the local commerce became very prosperous, selling TV sets, video cassette sets, and this was the first phase of the local commerce. And then the second phase was the incentives to the national industry to be attracted here. So there was incentives, minimum incentives to production in Manaus. So the industry growth of assembly industry growth was started here. The On the third phase, from 91 to 96, that was established a new industrial policy of external commerce. So the government, Collor de Mello, opened the ports of Brazil to importation, and there was a panic because the Manaus commerce was impacted because all the rest of Brazil was able to import. And the fourth phase, from 96 to 92, and the industrial policy had as a characteristic the adaptation of a globalized economy. They had to adjust to the new real plan as a movement of private. There was privatizing many companies in Brazil. So other free zones were installed in Brazil, and this weakened the free zone project. And then the Suframa incentives was also established. The innovation of the Manaus Industrial Pole, which is a landmark as far as the advancement of the technological industry in Manaus. I will now mention some tributary notes, because this is a set of fiscal incentives to attract industry to establish in Manaus. And as far as the Manaus Industrial Pole, the incentives was established between the government of the state of Amazonas and the federal government. This is started before. A lot of people thought that there were no tax collection in Manaus. This was never a fact. This is a differentiated tributary regime in relation to other places in Brazil, implemented by the fiscal incentives. All the incentives have the aim to lessen the costs due to the distance that we hold from other producing centers in Brazil, and most of all to preserve the Amazon forest, which is important to all mankind. So we also were based on the process of the basic process. This is a set of rules and norms, and the criteria is already established for that. And there is the process of so as far as the Manaus Industrial Pole, the incentives that are distributed, reduction of the import tax, when we're talking about industrial products, and zero tax for the internal sales. and to the industry 3.6% on the selling of final products to the rest of the country. So this benefit is very common all over the legal Amazon. As far as the state of Amazon, there's a tax to incentivize industry of a credit of 55%. There are many taxes that are implemented in this picture that aim the social development based on the Manaus Free Zone project. There is right now in the National Congress many projects being discussed. To summit, there were two projects that aim to reform the tributary reality. One was in the Senate and another one in the Congress. So the government sent the proposal to the Congress, and it became the project 3827. The PAC 110 and aims to rationalize the tax that will be implemented for the service rendering. So the government PL simplifies tributation on federal on the federal scenario. And this is something that is practiced in other countries. The Brazilian matrix, unfortunately, is still very unfair because it's still taxing the consumer instead of attributing the income. So this is something that I consider a distortion, a tributary distortion. So it's my belief that we have to redo this matrix. Otherwise, we will be practicing a fiscal injustice to the Brazilian population. Summing it up, the PL 45 imposes the creation of the federal tribute, the IDS, and it covers 5 other tributes, which will be converted into one, and involves income and selective tribute, and the final result will be the sum of all the other tributes. This project has been approved in the Commission of Justice, and it's now being studied by a very special commission. The PL 110 that creates a tribute on service products would get put together 9 tributes and converted into one, and would be the selective tribute. It would establish the taxes, and with a quota for the and there's another proposal that it's from the government, which is a contribution, and according to this project, the reform will happen in phases. It's and they call it the CBS on consumers' goods. They established the tax of 12%, and each company will only add this tax to the supplying of services. Based on the original proposal of PAC 45, there's no preview that concerning the Manaus Free Zone. But on the other hand, the PAC 45 has no involvement with fiscal incentive. So this excludes completely the Manaus Free Zone. So considering that the IP and ICMS will be extinct to benefit different sectors, this is something that will not add anything to the project of the Manaus Free Zone. So, frankly, we would preserve the differentiated kind of treatment, and I will call your attention for Article 79 from Deputado Sidney Leite, Congressman Sidney Leite. So this is a sum up of everything that you can imagine to the Manaus project. This wants to highlight that we talking about a differentiated treatment that is established on our Constitution, and this cannot be forgotten. So from the constitutional matrix, this is where everything starts. On the constitutional matrix, there is a establishment of a new tributary system, a specialized treatment focusing on the Manaus Free Zone. So I will have to read you a sum up of this article. When you talk about a new rule to benefit the Manaus Free Zone, it actually represent a contamination or prejudice, and also because there are other free ports that are using their own VA. So economically, the Manaus Free Zone represents 0.4% of the national gross product. So the project Manaus Free Zone Impacts and Creativity, the Getúlio Vargas Foundation verified that since the creation of the Manaus Free Zone, there was a process of industrialization in Manaus and surroundings, adding higher value than the national average. And also there was also the evidence that the deforestation of the Amazon forest, this is scientifically proved, depends on the jobs that are created by the industrial pole. And in the end of my program, I asked Alain to show you a picture that synthesizes everything that I'm telling you about the Manaus Free Zone. The cost, the real terms, have dropped in the past years from 17.1% to 8.5% in 2018. The tax collection in the region is over all the incentives that are promoted in Manaus. For each real which is spent with in fiscal incentives, the per capita income went from 2.33 to 3. So this represents three times more what was invested. So the Manaus Free Zone is considered as like expenditure in the general picture. So this goes against any scientific analysis. The Manaus Free Zone is an investment, not a social investment. This is the reality. The data that we have is very clear about that. So PAC 110, there's a reference concerning the preservation of the Manaus Free Zone. That this is something that gratifies, and this is something that covers the area of free import, and also establish a differentiated treatment. Senator Alcolumbre from Amapá. So they also have a free zone in the state of Amapá. So Senator Robert Rocha is proposing a bill that is covering the necessity of a differentiated a treatment. So the bill that is now on progress in the Congress is so we have to get together to promote this improvement, which will be very important to the Manaus Free Zone. And as far as the general tax quota, involve an increase of tax collection involving the Manaus Free Zone. So to equalize the impacts of distribution, Article 28 promotes a credit of 28% on the value that will be contributed involving the sales of the industrial establishment. So this proposal that was presented by the government, so establishing the quota of 12%, will increase the tax collection. So and this also affects the Manaus Free Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I had to say, and I pass the floor to Advisor Júlio Pinheiro. So please, I would like to let you know that please, I would like to ask the technician to show an image. There it is. That's what the free zone promoted. See, this is delimitation of the state of Amazonas. This, what President Juscelino Kubitschek idolized in 1957, and General Castelo Branco experienced with the people of the Amazon. And you can tell there's a belt around the state of Amazonas as far as the environmental picture is concerned. But there is no income and jobs that is backed up by the federal government in terms of tributary incentives. That there's no need for scientific values. And this image speaks and says it all. There it is. This is the proof that the success of the project Manaus Free Zone that preserved our forest to mankind. So, honorable members, I'm sorry if I use more time than I should, but thank you again for inviting me to be here. Thank you, Minister. We all know about your competence. Thank you very much for your participation. Now we move on, inviting Marita Koch-Weser to talk about knowledge and economical fundamentals with the forest. She's the coordinator, the research group Amazon in Transformation. She's been with USP since 2009. She has a very large experience, national and international. She was the director of the Latin American Environmental for the World Bank. She works with the private and government sector. She works at the Global Fellow in Washington. She's PhD of the University of Bonn in Germany. So I invite Marita Koch-Weser to use the floor. Thank you. Thank you all. I'm very proud to be part of this group, and I hope to make a very modest contribution. And I would like to thank thank you, Mauro Campbell, for telling such an interesting history facts about the Manaus Free Zone. Well, we had the rubber boom period, and I think it's important to mention how technology from those days to here has developed. Because when we talk about of bioeconomy, it's completely something completely different, because we have now the possibilities of the fourth technological revolution. And I think that one of our programs on USP Amazonia 4.0, and I'm part of this group. So we have a great hopes on biology and the biodiversity of the Amazon region. This is a very important item for the next stage of the social and environmental development. And when we talk about economy, I always talk about the bioeconomy, the standing forest, and the rivers. The challenge is how to make sure that the bioeconomy grows. It exists. We have this economical tool, but this bioeconomy to this day is very small, and the Manaus Free Zone is not, it really doesn't get the credit that it should. That's why it's a challenge, and that's the reason why this meeting, this web conference, is very important. We need the incentives, non-stop fiscal incentive for the establishment of a new industry, a new economy. But we also need we need intellectual incentives as well, because the new bioeconomy is founded on knowledge. A lot of people we talk about bioeconomy, but we need to learn from bioeconomy in the past and research more and generate knowledge and new technologies for new products. Well, I would like to talk about the Rainforest School, which is an idea that we talk about. Dennis Meneves knows about it. There's always the private sector is more involved, and it's an area that needs more opportunity and specialized involvement. There's nothing in the whole world or any business school that will teach specifically the rainforest business. So this is this system. This is something that comes to support the development of the bioeconomy. And today we can think about Manaus. Last November, during a bioeconomy event in the Federal University of the State of Amazonas, we presented the Rainforest Business School, emphasizing the importance of the social results, not only economical results. And we wanted to start courses in this past March, but as we know, with COVID-19, this became impossible. But the Amazonas University is supporting us to start online the first course on rainforest business in October. The idea is to create a program with all very real, with the specialized courses. So we want to develop in the first years a complete program. A master program is also being thought about. At the University of São Paulo, we are developing a program, and we're very happy about it. And it's being the idea is being implemented, and this is bringing a lot of enthusiasm to all of us. And of course, this is involving 20 doctors that will graduate in the near future, and this is creating a new capacity in the Department of Scholars. We are promoting a network of participant universities. The University of Boulder in Colorado is interested. I think I have a slide to show you here. The idea is the Rainforest Business School become a system that we can learn from in different states of Amazonas, in different states of Brazil, and abroad. We are putting together data for teachers and students. The Rainforest Business School, we also call it the Knowledge Highway. We are making it possible to a lot of data. We're making it available, and it concerns the bioeconomy. And this is through this website that we are building to make easier the learning of this topic. Next slide, please. The economical growth is basic to biodiversity. So when we want to learn and take advantage of these simple characteristics of the forest and the rivers, because the Amazon has, and the state of Amazonas has, and there's no other place in the world to find it. The aim public is has always to be the local population in the first place, and the river dwellers, because these populations are they are the ones who feel the improvement or change through changes, and they are the first one to acknowledge the improvements. So talking about the social biodiversity of local populations, we are, I'm sorry, there's something here on my screen. The aim is to learn a more diversified economy, so that the communities are not depending only on one or two products or one industry to minimize the risks. It has to be a fair economy that allow access to the marketplace, ensure transportation, storing, and the agro industry of bio industry. And of course, we're talking here Manaus Free Zone. Very soon, this Rainforest Social Business Schools is going to teach through courses, specialized courses, and also the aim is it's the field learning. It's not something restricted to the classroom, but there's a follow-up of projects on the field. Learning about natural products, value chains, development of new products and projects, and to incentivize their creativity in bioeconomy among the students. Micro-industrialization, cooperativism, and markets. The Amazon has more than 300 cooperatives and marketplaces that can be developed. And a micro-industrialization would be possible to establish on the field. There's no need for the primary product, the raw product, arrive in Manaus, but it will arrive already completely with the value aggregated. And this will incentive the local economy. The bioeconomy has to include, and that's why the social business school teaching about recovering degraded areas. The whole Amazon has more than 800,000 square kilometers that have been cleared, but we don't know the exact number, but it estimated that 20% are degraded areas and that have been abandoned. And this gives us a very large opportunity for agroforestry projects of reforestation, and this was really incentive this new bioeconomy industry. The social business school will deal personally, I think this is very important, of the bioeconomic governance, because this knowledge is the capital of the bioeconomy. This intellectual capital, it has to be protected, has to be protected with competence, a specialized competence. This is a very important task to promote this economy, but at the same time, protected against other other threats. And also the development of new financial tools. There are a lot of studies about new tools to finance the biodiversity, and this is this is a very large world, both in the private and government sector. I talked about the Rainforest Business School, which is the part of our program Amazon 4.0, which I've been following for many years. The inspiration was given to us by Bertha Becker, a very large, a very good specialist on the region. But I would like to wrap up with the last slide, showing you that the Rainforest Business School is only one element, because there are others. We need a mosaic of attitudes, of decisions to promote our bioeconomy, especially put it together with with the Manaus Free Zone. When we talk about elimination of local poverty, we talk about other topics, not only teaching, but education, but power, internet access, microindustrialization, storage, and transportation, and sustainable development, and a trustworthy marketplace. And of course, we're talking about a new fleet of fluvial transportation. We need a trustworthy marketplace. The government, local government in Manaus, is talking about a stock market, so that to support this idea. The valorization of biodiversity is the second topic of those four topics. We need a vertical growth in research and development. Of course, we should start with the indigenous knowledge, traditional knowledges, and we should promote support to the institutes and all the agencies in the region. And these institutions are being sub-financed. They need more financing, and they need conditions to reach their potential at their best. And then I can say that what needs a push, there's the idea not only to not only based on Amazon Creative Labs. This is really interesting, and it's being worked on right now. But this is like an MIT. The ITAs or MIT for the Amazon. It would be the Amazon Institute of Technology, and this would be like involving financing for Brazil and the world outside. This is an investment, a hard investment for the leapfrogging. Otherwise, we will not reach our aids. Carlos Nobre always mentions the example of the Institute of Advanced Institute of Technology, which has given origin to all the the aeronautic, the Embraer, the air industry. It was the scientific knowledge that brought development to the aerial industry in Brazil. And this is a good example. The third is governance. It's the protection of intellectual rights, in indigenous and environmental rights. Uh, so we have to implement the law, existing law, that requires a specialized a team and a specialized institution to follow up the development of the economy, and also an institution that can promote and create the idea and incentives to the bioeconomy. And you can't do anything without money support. So to make a difference, the investment has to be large. The investment fund for bioeconomy of the standing forest in the Amazon will make a promote a great difference, and would impact the whole Amazon basin. So we need a lot of initiatives and of many projects with funds such as this. This is something that could happen. So we have a lot of international organisms like the World Bank, Brazil, the Inter-American Bank. There's also the proposals of that to convert part of the external Brazilian debt or to a fund, the economy fund. There are lots of interesting ideas, and to finalize, I would like to say that I think that availability studies should be started so we can draw an image, a complete picture of with all the elements of the new bioeconomy in the free zone in the state. And I would like to I'm looking forward to discussion and the words of Sergio Leitão, that knows the tools that are available much better than I do. Well, we attended a meeting about a month ago with you, and a lot of experts were there, and you were there. It was my pleasure to be part of this discussion, and this really made me feel very happy. But another important point was concerning the investments. Unfortunately, we are very and I agree with you, without money we don't do anything. I read an article from Dennis Minev, which he mentioned the American universities. The American universities invest in science and technology millions and millions of dollars, and the National Institute of Amazonian Research receives less than $10 million. So this is really sad to mention as far as the needs to invest constantly in technology. I would like now to invite to talk how to promote the bioeconomy in the Amazon. And this has to do with discussion that we are approaching now. Is Sergio Leitão. He's a lawyer, and he's a founder of the Escolhas Institute. and he was also director of campaign. He is the founder of the Greenpeace in Brazil. He was the advisor of Ministry of Justice José Gregório. He is specialized in indigenous people's rights, and he has written a study about indigenous territories. He's from the state of Ceará. He lives in São Paulo. It's my pleasure to invite Dr. Sérgio Leitão to develop his program. Thank you. I think that the most important the information is that it's to be from the state of Ceará. So I think this is my most precious credential, is to be a native of the state of Ceará. Thank you to the Audit Court of the State of Amazonas, to President Mario Melo, and I would like to start my program establishing a dialogue with Senator Eduardo Braga and Ministro Mauro. What is the tributary reform? Well, what is that? It was something that will deal with the distribution of resources in the country. See, this is something that what is the percentage of the free zone business as far as the tributary reform is concerned? Aside from the numbers, we're talking about incentive, we're talking about something that is important, but just let's try to agree on a value, because we're talking 23 billion reais. So we could start saying that in the immense water world, the dispute in the national budget, so the Manaus Free Zone is always rowing against the current. And so at this moment, it's facing more than ever before a very hot waters. Banzeiro is when the waters are really hot, really moving a lot. So this is based on some issues that we have to talk. A permanent fiscal crisis in every Brazilian state, and this is a reality that hasn't changed. So incentives from to the Manaus Free Zone. This has been a very a permanent problem. And as far as the threats to the free zone is the competitiveness, focusing on technological changes. What is the room, not for competing, but a generation of jobs in a region that has a lack of and no capacity to deal with negative social marks. So if we go to the interior of the Amazon and talk about community bioeconomy business, this becomes very, very difficult because of the drug cartel that is taking over these areas and make it even more difficult to the natives to transport and increasing the social vulnerability. And something that is also important to me concerning the bioeconomy is that we have a problem. Exactly like it was mentioned by Minister Mauro Campbell. And Minister, I hope you agree with me. It's part of the resources of the free zone, Manaus Free Zone, are supporting the, the raw material that are not found in the region. And if I'm mistaken, Minister, I don't like to be a slave of my mistakes, but how can we deal with that, Minister? Another discussion that is crucial, and I would like to talk about it with Dennis Benev. The business in the Amazon and business in Brazil are like a marathon with obstacles. So if we don't establish an integration mark, and like Mario Melo said in his speech, we make a capital mistake, because we lost in the past when during the rubber boom. We didn't take advantage of the opportunity to prepare ourselves. And then we lost the second opportunity, celebrating 50 years of the Manaus Free Zone. So the most dangerous things the deadline is really something terrible, because a lot of people leave it for the last minute to do what has to be done. So we have now a new deadline. How can we prepare for that? So this is exactly where the bioeconomy plays a role. The bioeconomy cannot be an empty consensus that is very common in Brazil. So, quoting Machado de Assis, but we don't ask enough to establish the conditions to make the project real. So whatever you can do to develop the bioeconomy, that it can really add value and be part of the investment portfolio for the Amazon, especially on the Manaus Free Zone. We have to analyze the critical factors of success, and this is exactly what we have to do 10, 20, or 30 years ago, so that when we get to 2073, because we have the capacity to renew everything. So I hope that in 2073 we're discussing the same things that we're discussing right now, asking why we were not able to prepare the state, the region, and the Manaus Free Zone to do what is critical in the incentive policy. How can we not make the same mistake? So that's what I would like to discuss with Dennis Antonio Silva and Eduardo Braga, that will debate what is being discussed here. How can we involve what is done right now in the free zone? Not only concerning what is being built here, produced here, but also to get involved in scientific production. So we need results. We need solutions. We have the Fund of Science and Technology So I think that together with the audit court, we could think that to evaluate, I think that we should evaluate to promote what was right, was done right, to study the references that are not doing right. So we have to evaluate the picture as a whole, the policy of incentives, and we have a state university in Manaus. We have the presence of the state university all over the state, but so the marriage that should be promoted with the production, with the industries that are present at the industrial pole, this has to be promoted, and involving initially the biopharmaceutical products. So let's talk what we have in the state and what kind of resources we have here. See the governance. I wrote something about that recently for the Escolhas Institute. The modern form of governance in bioeconomy has to start in a renewable structure to promote the academy, the companies, and the government. So the audit court can be the vector of this project. And many times people learn about a research and is patented, and sometimes the patent has lost its deadline because there was no private sector interest to promote that patent. Agenda that we'll promote. Dennis, please correct me if I'm wrong. We had a meeting in past October. There's not the industry of fish is not possible. Fishery industry is not possible without power, electrical power. We have this is something that about the biogas that has been recently published. The state of Amazonas has to move fast to occupy the spaces that are and face the fact that the fish supply in the Amazon is mostly done from the outside, and that China is developing the industry of fishery much in larger proportion than Brazil, and this is really something terrible. How can we face this terrible reality? How can we change that picture? So there's the garbage in the waste in the interior that could be used for bioenergy, and we're talking we're talking about you see, to take diesel, it's amazing to take 1 liter of diesel to the interior, to the townships. You have to burn 5 liters of diesel. So power is really important. Electrical power, genetical resources. There will be no business linked to the bioeconomy or in the Manaus Free Zone if the perceptions and the impediments are not removed, because it is generating an allergic reaction to the businessmen. Uh, they are so Dennis and Antonio Silva, we are now developing proposals to be introduced to Senator Eduardo Braga for his knowledge. Another item, the law of forestry concessions. Why don't we have a vibrating logging industry in our state? Why the largest companies in Brazil are dealing with the logging in a very with success, and in the Amazon we're not doing the same. There are some wood factories that are working on different states with very good results, that using pine tree, and why this technology is not used in the Amazon? Why hasn't it arrived here? What's missing? Research to identify which woods, tropical woods, could be used to develop this project in the Amazon. Without research, we will not create this dynamism. Besides research, there are other difficulties. You see, people losing money trying to promote what is good in the Amazon. So Dennis, on September 3, we are promoting an event to discuss what are the problems in the forestry concession legislation so that we can deal with it. The forest, public forest concession, and now I'm talking about sustainable management. There's no, they are not allowed to deal with carbon sink. They cannot benefit from carbon sink. So he has to deal with illegal logging, and he's not able to develop something that will promote the economy. So this is something, Senator, that you should really learn about. And another thing that is important to me in the credits that are the financing for, like, the farmers and people that are working in the interior, they're minimum. So on May, we need a commitment so that we can, until 2022, this percentage of less than 1% should be increased. So the farmers and they need this type of support, of a resource to develop in the agro business. So these are the topics that I had to mention to you. But I want to refer to Antonio Silva, how the S system, with all their funding, they can dialogue with the bioeconomy representatives. So let me give you an example. When we add value to the fish, uh, in Rondônia, they are doing this. So we have to train people, train the community, the communes, ensure electrical power. We are just celebrating the biogas center for training people to deal with the electrical energy supply backed by Itaipu. This will benefit the state of Roraima, Amapá, and Amazonas. So Amapá is not connected to the national grid, but Antonio Silva, this S system could create possibilities to train these people. The Sebrae, the Forest Sebrae, this is an idea to train people in the forest. Ecotourism is so important. It will be the promoter of the tourism activities in the world. So the American government is investing $10 billion because due to the pandemic era, so people are really willing to get involved in ecotourism. The digital discrepancy, but today, due to what is essential to all of us, we are here because we have connection. We have a digital discrepancy in the Amazon, in the interior of the Amazon, and something that should be done to ensure digital access through many ways to make sure that we can provide a wide band to natives. If we don't do that, the youngsters will not stay in the forest. They will come to town, and if they have the possibility to remain there, 4G or 5Gs will for sure, in many townships, there are youngsters that don't enjoy this type of technology. So this is what I believe we can build without prejudice to our themes. So the concept of bioeconomy has to initiate a cycle that will involve more people agreeing, and the Amazon can ride through this hot waters with income, jobs, and education, which is fundamental to the Amazon state and Brazil. You have given us the key to open the door of opportunities for bioeconomy in the Amazon. The state of Amazonas nowadays, with the garbage dumps in open air, this is something that is really bringing concern, and this is something all over the state of Amazonas. We have established agreement with the state university and the federal university so that we can work on projects that will deal with waste and all types of waste and garbage. So as long as each one does it, plays its role, we are sure that we can conquer a lot. So the betterment of governance is something that the state of Amazonas audit court is really concerned. So we have to establish debating all the issues that were exposed here. Now we're going to start the debate phase. And to start, I will pass the floor Antonio Silva, the president of the Industry Federation in the state of Amazonas. He will make some considerations about what has been said here so far. Antonio Silva. We have more than 3,000 people watching our event right now. Before, I thought that we were here to ask questions, but advisor Julio started making questions. So let me greet President Mario Melo, Minister Mauro Campo, and our Senator Eduardo Braga. He's a very good friend of mine. We made good decisions together. And Julio and I worked together at TV Juricaba. Professor Arita Wezer, and Sergio, he surprised me because I was here to ask him and he started asking me. And Dennis Minev, we worked together during the time when Eduardo Braga was the governor. I'm happy that you invited me to be here. I'm so happy to listen to what has been said here, because when you talk about the Manaus Free Zone, you are talking about sustainability on the actual reality involving bioeconomy. Sustainability, Sergio, this is a topic very, very important to the Federation of Industry. We the ethic code has a chapter that mentions what is necessary for preserving the forest and all the environmental matters. So to defend the Amazon forest and to profit by it sustainable is part of the policy of the Federation. The resources that can be used and things that Julio has mentioned there. This is something vital for the bioeconomy, and because the Amazon economy has to be incremented. And mailing for we there was a Brazil nut factory that was open in the interior, and this is really a great happening. So Amazon is under the public eye, and it awakens a lot of international interest. And bioeconomy can promote the development of public policies to maintain in a sustainable way the forest products that could be used by the pharmaceutical industry. So we have many ways to develop the bioeconomy, focusing on human health, and the CBA, the Biotechnology Center in Manaus. General Mourão, the Vice President of Brazil, was here, and he visited the CBA. And this is we're talking about heritage, Amazon heritage. So, and when we talk about CBA, we're talking about the demands of bioeconomy. And we're talking about our image, international image, that and the free zone was confirmed in our constitution in 1988. There's another point here that is really important, and Eduardo Braga can talk better than I can. So the tributary reform. Dr. Mauro knows that there are two proposals: the PAC 110 in the Senate and the PAC 45 at the Congress. I believe that there's a third proposal from the federal government. At the moment, I believe that it's the only one that is really focusing on the Manaus free zone. So Mauro has mentioned here the unification of tributes, and all the proposals that were put here by Mauro Campbell based on the creation of a new tax, increasing taxes that have all been covered in this proposal that was sent to the Congress by the Congress, and made us very, very happy, because it talks about a different treatment to the Manaus free zone. So I cannot use liberalism in an isolated region when we only have one model of development, which is the free zone of Manaus. So the special treatment is required to the Amazon Free Zone project. So this is good news for me when you talk about this meeting here. It really brings a lot of hope that there's something positive that we can do for the model of the Manaus Free Zone. We have to maintain and focus on the economical health, and we can talk about matrix that can add value to the project, the Free Zone, and not a matrix that will replace it. We have everything to be the world capital of biodiversity, and we have to develop a bioeconomy pole here. the free zone was gained a new deadline until 2073, and due to all the threats, so low production in Brazil is something that I will not refer here, and I don't want to discuss it. Same way, this criticism that the free zone is very expensive to the country. According to the IRF data, 25 billion reais are generated here for the government per year. 25 billion dollars. So we need urgently to redirect the promotion of incentives to the Manaus free zone. So we sent 25 billion reais to the government. So we're going to lose something like $3 billion reais if some of the proposals that are in the air are approved. So we have to start a cycle here, and that we will search for funding. So Sergio, I think you are right. We have to promote policies to establish a common industry that will benefit the academy, the industry, and the government. Science is key in this picture, and the biodiversity in the Amazon was well covered by someone in this event, because we have to transform into products the result of research based on traditional knowledge, so we can promote our potentialities. Dr. Marita was very mentioned that the private sector responsibility, which is based on sustainable the development, and we're talking ecologically friendly policies, public policies, always linked to environmental issues. We need a better create a better international image to the Amazon. And then the CBA, then it's important, because the topic is bioeconomy. So let me mention now this publication that published by the Federation together with CIEAN, and it refers in this publication refers to bioeconomy. It's a study on the history of the free zone as far as bioeconomy is concerned along the year. I will send you a copy of this publication. We have copies, and we will distribute to all of you. So other lecturers that in the past have helped me to put together this publication. So here I am, ready to ask questions. Thank you. I'm sorry if I talk too much, but I couldn't miss this opportunity to deal with players with so important as you are. So Eduardo has a very important role. And he's been a fighter defending the interests of the Manaus Free Zone. Thank you, Antonio Silva, for your program. So I will start with Sérgio Leitão. He's going to comment in 2 minutes what was said by Antonio Silva. I will not need 2 minutes because I don't disagree with anything that Antonio Silva said. I said I'm very happy with his answer. The proposal was to benefit from this web conference promoted by the audit court, and we have to leave the problem. We have to start evaluating the problem so that we can introduce the solutions to the government and the industry as a whole. So what Antonio said is right. We can promote a conversation involving all of us that will allow, as a result of the training of people in the interior of the Amazon. So we do have the capacity to involve the population. I think there's an open avenue of opportunities so that we can create a synergy with all of us here to promote the well-being of the Amazon. No, I will for sure ask you other questions, not here, but I will get in touch with you privately so that we can talk more about the development of our region. What you have to say, Dr. Marita, about what Antonio Silva had to say. I just want to reaffirm here the importance of all the things that Antonio Silva said based on institutions that are existing institutions, but I also want to because I was a director of the World Bank, and I wanted to tell you that the modesty in excess is not good. You have to think tank. You have to you cannot play it as if you're dealing with a small project that like you did 5 years ago. Well, IMPA has a lot of potential. CBA has a lot of potential. You spend a lot of work in the world, in Europe, and there are a lot of great opportunities, and this is something that we should moment to write new budget and ensure funding that could promote the continuity of the works that are being developed on science. So this would be a great support for the rural development, the valorization of production, and a new start. So this is what I had to reaffirm the importance of what we should do at this moment. This is the CBA moment. We're going to having elections soon, and I would have to remind our senator that the CBA needs a legal personality. Like we say, it's now or never. Júlio Pinheiro, Antônio Silva, I think that Sérgio Leitão really touched a something very sensitive, and promoted what was said by Antônio Silva. All of us that are aware of what's happening in terms of different research institutes, and with it's not, rarely there is the marriage of research and what is really important to the production in the free zone, and to diminish the level of poverty in the state. There must be a control of governance. I enjoy your idea of by Jaime Leitão that we should have a SEBRAE in the Amazon. That would be working exclusively with native populations. And it happened in other places in Brazil. And there was the implementation, for example, in the tourism sector, the hotel industry. So we need urgently to turn our eyes to this reality. And Mahita said that and I think here's a marriage between what Barita said. We cannot live depending on deadlines, or we establish a public policy for the Amazon as a whole, and we should have it on you should have the free zone as a sector, as a vector, and we approaching the tributary reform. Dr. Sérgio, you mentioned trillions. The active death of the Brazil, 2.19 trillion of reais. It's a lot of money. So socially, and as far as a tributary reality is concerned, we can frankly say here to the authorities that that they should stop this campaign that the Manaus Free Zone means prejudice, means loss, monetary loss. So Senator Eduardo Braga will start his program and comment the what was said so far. Dear Júlio, advisor, friend, greet Júlio, greet Mário Melo, the president of the Audit Court of Amazonas. I would like to greet all the advisors of the Amazonas Audit Court, all the or the public servants. I would like to greet my dear. I'm very proud to see my state of Amazonas represented in the superior courts by Mr. Mario Campbell. He's a minister of the Superior Electoral Court, and I'm sure that God is preparing new challenges for him in the future. So he is a real champion as far as representing the state of Amazonas and its people in his professional career. I would like to greet Sérgio Leitão, and a friend that of so many journeys. I would like to greet Dr. Marita, that mentioned the bioeconomy. I would like to greet my friend from way back, and he's always behind the Amazon issues, Antonio Silva. In many moments when I was working at the government, he was always together with us, together with our proposals and the political forces of the Amazon when defending our state and the free zone. I'd like to greet Dennis Minev. I told a friend about a while ago, he is the new generation's revelation. He's a leader of a new category that is promoting the social development, social and economical development of the state of Amazonas. I was reading his participation on this gathering of great businessmen in Brazil that are concerned with public policies for the Amazon. So I'm very proud to enjoy his friendship. So Dennis, together with us, our foundation, Dennis worked at the Sustainable Amazon Foundation, so he established a lot of management policies for the state of Amazonas, and he was our planning secretary. So it's happy to be here with all of you. So this is a meeting of ideas. Let me just say, without education, without science, without technology, without infrastructure, we are not going to make it. We will not make a new bioeconomy in Brazil, in the Amazon, especially in the Amazon. The new Fundeb, it's a door of it's a window of opportunity for investments, or government investments starting next year. This is something that will grow until 2026 in Brazil. We'll have funding from kindergarten to Brazil will have money to invest in education. Science and technology is the answer. Brazil will not solve the economical issues, the unemployment, and or the lack of progress in our technological industry. And P and D is something that is so important, so many sectors of the Brazilian economy, in the industry, and the power system, oil and gas, sector of farming. If it wasn't for the science and technology that is promoted by Embrapa, we would not be in so advanced in the agribusiness. So if it wasn't for advanced technology, we would not be on the stage where we are as far as oil drilling, for example, in deep waters. So it was it is science and technology that will promote efficiently the development of biotechnology and bioeconomy in the Amazon. So Mauro mentioned, and Antonio Silva confirmed, I would say the proposal of CDS, it has promotes a increase of the tax collection in Brazil. So this proposal, and is well known by all courts in Brazil, and the presumed credit and the exemptions involving the Manaus Free Zone. But there's an issue that has to be equalized, and this cannot be present at this moment. Minister Paulo Guedes recognizes that. So we have to balance a lot of things. The charging, CBS charging, in my opinion, is very far from what we need for the digital proposal. So CDS is still has to ripe. It has a time for ripening, and this will be interconnected to other reforms that are coming. I believe that PAC 45 and PAC 110 that are moving on the Congress has been signed by all the federal congressmen. So it was signed by all the congressmen that he's mentioning now. It was not only by Sidney Leite. All the congressmen signed it. Here at the Senate, it was signed by President Alcolumbre. It was signed by 61 senators, among them myself from the Amazon, and the other 3 senators. And this is on Article 15, promoting the Manaus Free Zone. I believe that what's going to happen is that we will have to face a tax that will move on starting October, and then we have the municipal elections, and then we'll hit the Senate and arrive at the Senate, and I believe that our system will guarantee, I'm sure, the balance that we need, and so that we can create a model like the free zone model that was now extended until 2073, and together with the advantages. And the reform is, I've been reading about it, and I believe that with all the guarantees from the higher courts, so far I see that the scenario is favorable, and I think we will be able to find the mechanism to maintain competitivity, the competitiveness of the Manaus Free Zone. So you have all of you have declared here. So things that I would like to comment. So the law that for concession of forest strips, this has to be is linked to the land disputes in the Amazon. So we have to also solve this land conflicts so that we can have access to financing for the familiar farming, family farming, access to the Brazilian farming plan. Without that, we will not be able to develop the sector of the farming sector in Brazil. So it's important that the law for forest concession has two types of concessions. One is public, in public land. You see the forest of the township of Maués, the state is trying to establish this concession. So Sérgio Leitão is right when he says that we have limitations. We have to include the discussion about the carbon sink and conservation of forest biomass. It's like an economical basket that says that the standing forest it has it can generate environmental services, and of those that are forest keepers. And Mauro Campbell showed the maps of and how the economical is growing. What makes us different from other states is that the Manaus Free Zone is the largest conservation, forest conservation, environmental conservation in the world. No other country in the world does a 24 billion reais of renounce, financial renounce. And it's a model that does not devastate the forest. It's a model that protects the forest and generates jobs and income and tributation. So we are the largest tax collectors, and this is declared by the Federation, the Industry Federation. We have a production of credit in tax collection, which is the largest in the country. And we collect and finance with this industry the state of Amazonas, the townships. And one of the important characteristics of our industry is showing the transformation industry in the Amazon is only behind the industry in São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, with a larger participation in the gross product in Brazil. These are important issues that should be covered. And let me say to you two things. The promotion of power through waste, and we have a new regulatory norms in Brazil involving natural gas. So, uh, and this, as far as the Amazon is concerned, and solid waste, this could generate power, jobs, and income if we can develop correctly. And this is an issue that is very important. Dennis should talk about this. The new technology allows us to explore minerals in a way that is environmental friendly, and include the Amazon on the agro business without having to devastate a single meter covered by trees. So the new law, gas and oil law, is something very important, and this is we are dealing with the mining not only in the Amazon but also in indigenous areas, and this is something that is coming up for us to face. Fishery in the Amazon, mainly in the Amazon, depends on the cost of the feed, and the feed depends on the production of corn or biomass. And now we need science and technology to deal with that and maintain a production of corn. The corn that we are using in the production or in the fishery, farming fishery, comes from the state of Mato Grosso, which the pole of the fishery pole it depends on the place that is produced in the state of Rondônia and Mato Grosso. You see, that's why we see now tambaqui being produced in Rondônia, being consumed in Manaus, tambaqui from the state of Roraima being consumed in Manaus. So the production of biomass for the feeding the fish, tambaqui, matrinchã, these are all local species. So this is so as far as animal protein, without any impact, we need science and technology to thank you for Julio for this window of that I had used. I'm very proud to have been invited and to be part of this group. And the Amazon has a very high potential, but in finishing now, in this study from the Federation for the development of bioeconomy, we have 9 axles to improve the transportation via rivers, promote a better digital connection, the hub of turning the airport, the national airport of Manaus, to promote better aviation, regional aviation for the interior, and the building of river ports in the interior, according to respond to the needs of transportation, the modernization of the transport of public, the oil and gas for infrastructure and distribution, we are discussing different items involving oil and gas and the highway BR 317 and 319, essential for the progress of our industry in a competitive way. I'm at your disposal. Thank you, Senator, for your programming. Dr. Marita will comment Eduardo Braga's speech. I have nothing to add to such complete program delivered by Eduardo Braga. I just want to emphasize one issue here, Senator. It's as far as the research of development, power and transportation. I think that besides the utilization of solid waste and biomass, that the solar and wind and hydrogen power is very, very important. And it could be something that we can think about a fleet that at the same time would be used for transportation and storage, cold storage in the region, using the rivers, because these are two issues that are dealt with separately. So I think this synergy of power, renewable energy, I think that the renewal of the boat fleet and also storage would be something very important to be studied. And maybe with the involvement of the University of São Paulo in a very near future, one of the knots for the development in the interior of the Amazon is the boat transportation. Like Marita mentioned, it's hard to comment because he's a very for his expertise and his political career is something that is important. But he said in the end of his speech that the study that imposes the observation of these axes so we can explore biotechnology in the Amazon in a positive way. Eduardo Braga knows, and all the Amazon people know, that in 2018 I was at the working in Manaus, and we were discussing the navigation in the Amazon rivers. When each diesel liter taken to the interior needs five other liters to be transported. So this makes everything so difficult. Back in the 70s, there was a federal program for building boats specifically for the Amazon. Those boats were made in Rio de Janeiro, and they were all iron made, because and they ended up becoming scrap, because when they came to the Amazon, many of them went on fire because they could, in those boats, and we have companies in the Amazon that can build those boats. And boats that are adapted to our reality. And this is something that is part of this EXO that you mentioned, is the exploration of sustainable energy. And there were like floating ports in the Amazon, and there were projects that were drawn in São Paulo when the first when we had the first great the river, when the river during the flood season, 1.5 meters was above the pier that was built. So governance is, there's no way you can disassociate from that. Is something that affects a lot of people that live in the outside the Amazon without scientific basis. And the knowledge that we have, the day-to-day life knowledge that we have, and it's based on this knowledge that we have to establish the studies to bring balance to the needs, to the carbon sink, and everything that is needed to be done in the Amazon to benefit the people and as an aim. Well, I just want to say to Eduardo Bragas, when we got together to discuss the forest project to help people take benefits to the people in the forest. I just want to the law of forestry concessions. The benefactor, he has no any guarantee involving the financing system. So, Senator, your support in the Senate to change this scenario is critical. Another thing, you're all listening, okay? Mining. One of the greatest potentials in the Amazon is the mining sector, and the question is, why the mining potential is not explored? Because it's cheaper to the country, import sylvanite from abroad than to explore in the country. So this is a great this is something that we need so much, and we have to import when we have large potential in the Amazon. So the exploration of sylvanite in Altazes, what can be done so that this mining for this mineral it becomes possible, and so far nothing has done, and there's no interrelation between the agro-business and the state of Amazonas, uh, and to invest in the township of Altazes. And the farming is something very important too. We always we say what we don't want, but we can't establish the basis that would fundament, uh, so that in each new government the changes are not introduced. In the past three governments, they changed the farming legislation. President Lula changed, President Temer changed, and now there is a new change on the way. So it's impossible to imagine that will be uh, legal security for the farmers, and because they're always changing the legislation. So we have to focus that in the Amazon we have the last frontier farming land in the world. And in the middle you have a big forest. So this is a great challenge for preserving and economical development. Those are the comments I had to do about what said Senator Eduardo Braga. And thank you for well, I'd like to add thank you for what you said about me, and I agree with what Mauro Campos said. Science many times when you talk about implementing it in the Amazon, it's completely uh, completely in disconnection with our reality. When you said about Mauro Campbell mentioned the boats, there was also the building of speed boats for school students' transportation. So these speed boats were very dangerous because the project did not was not adapted to the reality in the Amazon. Well, there are no winds in the Amazon, so um, iolic power is almost impossible because there's no winds in the Amazon. So that's why we have the flying rivers that take the rain down south and to produce the good Malbec wines in Argentina. So this is there's no wind in the Amazon. Professor Sergio, I would like to allow me to correct something here. when we talked, the many projects were initiated from that conversation. We had good ideas, and that we were able to implement those ideas. We have Virgílio Viana and Dennis Minev. Our problem involving Silvinita is not logistic or cost. Brazil spends $8 billion every year with an exchange rate of 6 to 1 to import potassium that is used in our agribusiness. Our problem is is a, is an attitude from the public ministry, IBAMA, and the Ministry of Environment to regulate the existing law so that the knot is untied, so and we can use potassium and not only that, of our mineral capacity. The mineral capacity of the Amazon has to stop this thing that allows us to export only raw materials in natura. So we need to explore chlorium, potassium, and I think that this project will be like a good start that will add technology, will add a new model of legal expression, so that the federal ministry, the IBAMA, and the Ministry of Environment could issue a license to a rational use of the production of minerals and promoting new jobs and income. Job and income is generated by the use of raw materials, and we have a lot of raw materials in the Amazon that we can extract without destroying. We don't want to start a new Carajás mine. We don't need illegal mining in the Amazon. What we defend is the rational, responsible, and sustainable, with high technology mining in the Amazon. We have no problems with logistics. Our problem is regulation and an understanding between different agencies that are imposing cost for the private sector and investors that does not make it possible. Mauro Campbell can mention something about that. Happy to meet you on a Friday. I have all my life dedicated myself to social development and environmental development. Thank you for the opportunity. Dennis Minev, businessman, CEO of Bemol Group. Greetings to the President Mário Melo, Advisor Júlio, and greetings uh, senator. Four of us have worked with him when he was governor. And a lot of what we are saying here has influences from his government and thoughts. And talking about the piers of the Madeira River, I heard the voice of the piers on the Madeira River made me think of my grandfather, Samuel Benchimol. You went to my father's marriage. You are becoming an old man and one of our wise men. This makes me happy. You see, I just want to say, let me provoke you to the audit court, to Conselheiro Júlio, advisor. But your leadership concerning the environment is really fantastic. Why don't you also search the understanding that is also an environmental issue when uh, companies from that deal with the environment deal with fish farming, but those are things that we tried before. Here's a good example. During the time that I served the government, we wrote more than 1,000 plans for environmental management. I went back a while back. I went to verify which ones were successful. None of them of the 1,000 plans are working. So business that prosper based on forest products, there's no history of success. So my question is, part of the problem in the Amazon, it's the informality in the interior. It's hard to bring these people to the legal side. You see, like small businessmen in Irunepé, which is very far from Manaus, it was never possible. They start a company, a legalized firm. Bureaucratization is something that is bad for business in the interior. For example, these people don't have a bank account, and, and and there are some townships in the Amazon that collect no tax from finished products. Professor Marita, that those themes have to be repeated, and we're talking here themes, technological and business themes. At CAPS, I was advisor from CAPS once. You see, Minister Mangabeira Uber used to say that Brazil looks at the Amazon as environment, looks at the Northeast as social, and looks at the social, and looks to the South as the economical and development area. So what I always wanted to discuss, how can we, what can we do to stop devastating the forest? So to use the forest standing is something so great that there'll be no deforestation if we convince the government that to keep the forest standing is better. So the funding for deforestation will disappear. And this is we have to convince the government about that. And Sergio, congratulations. Your speech is different from what you used to say a year later. Now you understand the problems of fish farming and forest management as a business, not as great business, but and you understand that now. See, the forest always will give something in return. I think that the first step you've given already. To understand the problems. That's the first step. But Brazil has not made the choices to untie the knot. How can we change that national head? They look to the Amazon not as a potential that can transform in a good way the country. We had a lot of initiatives in his government. I believe they didn't flourish as well as we expected. Let me give you some example. The forest management, the green free zone program, and I think that the test of this past decade showed us that it didn't go forward. It didn't move forward. So thank you for your invitation, and I would like to greet all of you. Thank you. No, but so let me take the opportunity. I remember when I started the environmental control of the state of Amazonas. Many people were me questioning. So what does the audit court, what does it have to do with the environment? So when we started to implement the environmental control department, I started to explain why we were doing it. You question what can be done to stop a lot of business from failing, environmental business from closing. We deal with public spending in general. So when I question the auditing for environmental projects, I noticed that it's there in the Constitution. So we were analyzing when we analyze the environmental licenses, we have to check if they were correctly done, correctly issued. But this this issue of business that deal with the environment that don't that are unsuccessful, they just fold. This issue is very important. I believe that if we help, when we are involved in governance, I think we also indirectly helping those business to have success. Mauro Campbell, the floor is with you. Dennis. The commission that I preside has a very great concern to make sure that the in the public service can become a bureaucrat department, but the commission has chosen to not to use a lot of laws that tried to do this with no success. So we wrote a statute, a national statute, that through a special law. This will, like for example, for the township of Amaturá to enjoy the same rules, bureaucratic rules of Rio de Janeiro, Brasilia, and that effectively we may have or provide conditions. I'll give you the article that involves this statute. It will not affect any public servant of any agency in the government if he asks any paper or data that the data bank has available of any public organization of this country. So when you go to the United States, if you arrive at any public agency in Austria, you don't have to declare your CPF, because if you're a citizen of that country, you know, but it's just your name, and to ask for the service, he will be attended. This is it's a great gain, and we're just waiting for some responses from the Commission of Justice, but the proposal is being introduced. There was a misreading of our proposal, and that is why we have to rewrite it. And there was a misreading, so we had to file it, and now we rewrote it so that we can have a public machine that can be used by people by humble people especially. And another thing that he mentioned, Dennis, about people that work informally. See, people in the interior of the state of Amazonas, living in the forest, they were contributing to 4% of tax collection in the state of Amazonas. Governor Gilberto Mestrinho, the late governor, he started to think about issues that could promote the obligation of collecting 4% of those populations. So he abolished that. And when Dennis, when you said that the Amazon cannot be taken as a problem to be solved, the Amazon exists and it has to be uh, preserved. So anything that we do for preservation is valid. In 2019, after have processed more than 10,000 processes, we didn't spend one single sheet of paper. Thank you, Julio. Thank you, Dennis, for your comments. It's good to hear from you. We are all learning. We are improving all the propositions that we have here. The propositions wants to promote speeding the development of the industrial district. We want it to be understood and established forever. The second issue is taking advantage of the presence of Eduardo Braga. These are forestry concessions. We have to understand the challenge for the country. We're talking a storage of 40 to 60 million of untouched forest that are public, are state, or municipal areas. How can we deal with such a large area? It's as large as two countries together, Germany and France, or Texas and California, the largest states in America. How can we imagine that, possibly imagine that the governance of territorial management could rely under a management so small that to deal with a large economical process? That's why, Senator, that we don't think it's the best proposal, but it's an idea that is being think and on this workshop on the 3rd, September 3rd, we're going to think what is the how can it become viable and become an agency. Otherwise, the economical management of this potential, so only like that we will have a chance to bring the results that are not possible to collect right now. Like Dennis mentioned, that a large business is giving up on working in the Amazon. This is very negative. So someone that believes in the proposal of sustainability, it was there because it wanted to do it right, and now they are folding, and this is real bad news. So let me comment and thank you, Dennis. I would like to thank you to Alfredo that he built a bridge between us so we could establish the understanding relating to our differences. So we can say now that and we have a common objective, which is to develop the region based on economical and environmental support. This Padre Cícero used to say, see, when the Arigós, the immigrants that came to the Amazon, so my relatives that arrived in the Amazon to work in the Amazon, and they when they talked to the caboclo, they told the prophecy, go to the Amazon, go to, because there is rivers of you will find rivers of honey in the Amazon. So this is what I think goes together what was said by the minister, that the Amazon is a solution, not a problem. Well, my comment, I am also a descendant of people that came from the Northeast to work in the Amazon. Doutora Marita, you're Dennis, you asked me a question. To win the war against deforestation by imposing the fact that the forest is better standing. So I agree. So thinking and building the CV of the business school. So we have to not only studies of causes, but also studies of success. So the metaphor, like the boats that were made in Rio, the management, the bio plans of management. This after many years, you didn't find any. So the systematic research of these cases is something that I really support. We have a lot of business that started and had success. We had, you see, the expansion of the acai industry, the promotion of the acai, not only in the Amazon but all over the world. Like it was mentioned here. It's hard to imagine income without studying these cases. This is unthinkable. So we need a real base, not a theory. The audit court has made a lot of environmental auditing And we have those reports available if you have any interest. Eduardo Braga, Dr. Dennis asked you a question. We made a lot of projects of green free zone, and I have the feeling that they didn't work out the way we thought. But I would like to know, in your opinion, what lessons can be learned? I'm happy to talk to you. Last time we talked about the books that you recommended. So you gave me a book. We were at the Marilene's place, and you gave me the book, and I read it. But about forest management, let me tell you something that I think it's important. You're an economist, and you're a businessman. Let me congratulate you for the innovations that you're introducing in your business. You know, I'm very curious, and I suffer from insomnia, so I read a lot, I learn a lot. So when you talk about economic business, they need a time for ripening, and it has to be promoted by two vectors: public policy and market. What happened to our forest management? The public policy was discontinued. So everything that we did, everything that we, from starting at the Sustainable Development Secretariat, conservation units in the state, that and they moved some of the project to a NGO, and those areas today are very well conserved by the Foundation of Sustainable Development, and that the areas that were transferred to the NGO are from the Amazon, that is managed by an NGO, because they moved forward basing everything they did on public policy, and with the involvement of the government and the private sector, and the state did not promote what we left behind. And they dismantled due to the implementation of the public policy. So the market did not follow up. Let me give you an example. No, we have 3,000 people watch us, and a lot of people don't know about this. We implemented a specific designer of a school desk, school chair, and then we used the power to buy a product and establish a productive set. So we generated a lot of income and tax. So for 10 years, people didn't buy wood would chair for the students, and now they bought plastic chairs. So no, this is really hard to deal. We haven't got the 4.0 industry. In 10 years, we couldn't finish the ripening cycle. So we was hit by the lack of public policy. And the development for the interior was stopped. So the investment in technology and science and went down the drain like with the project. But if the project ripes and then it flourishes, it grows. But you can't stop it. You see, the new green economy involving the private sector with social responsibility, it will not generate results, and it will not foment the ripening of this new emerging economy. And this is my reading why the green free zone did not progress. We had some good results. I was at an area of Nova Olinda, the township of Nova Olinda. And recently in that area, there's a conflict there. I mean, unfortunately, that I went to this place, and one of the things that really touched me was the movement of the Mundurucus community that are part of the Sustainable Development Unit. And from a human development point of view, involving commune production, this is something you can see there. There's a good reality, and when you go from one community to the other where they do not implement our policies, the public policies, there's no you can easily notice that nothing is happening. This is something I want to say, that the audit court has no tools to do the lack of satellite, but we get information by the National Institute for Spatial Research. So we got reports from them, and that's how we do our auditing. See, I think that the audit court is doing a good job, but we need to really promote investing in those conservation units. See, the conservation community of Watumã is generating a lot of results more than 1,000 economical sites. It, it's it, it's great because fishing is not allowed there. Industrial fishing is not allowed there, and we created the Sustainable Development Reservation. We built schools. We built eco lodges, and today more than 1,000 economical sites are happening on Watuman River thanks to this project. So I think that the audit court is responsible for the public spending, but not only. I think you should promote that in terms of the press much more. See, Dennis, with your question, just comes to show how much we are still emotionally connected to the project. I am very optimistic about the Amazon, and I'm moved by passion. So I stay on that vibe, but I think that what we're doing, the audit court is doing with an event like this, a web conference that is being watched all over the world. We have other audit courts that are starting to do what we are doing. So the public sector has to protect the ecosystem, the environment. So I have some questions here by people watching us, but I just gonna get one of the questions from our viewers. I enjoyed this idea of the forest Sebrae. I would like to propose to Antonio Silva, to Eduardo, Dennis. I propose a training for is crucial. So we can from now on just get a good idea and put it into practice. So Dennis, so this is something that calls for like legalizing the captain of the river boat to get a permit to and training to conduct his boat. So this role is that Sebrae plays all over the world could really turn into a activity involving bioeconomy and the people and the river dwellers. I would just mention. So I think that justice for whoever deserves. I would like to thank Senator Braga for all the support we get from him at the Senate for PAC 135. That fought for the maintenance of fundings for the Amazon. It's the money that will be invested in science and technology. So this, we are in a pole that needs science, technology. So publicly, I would like to thank the senators. Thank you very much for your performance. Aline, why doesn't the free zone invest on the public sewage system? You see, I I have I have written I have written an article about that issue, and and other governments, the municipal government did not understand our proposal. See, involving charging the sewage system taxes. See, there was a misunderstanding. I would like to say to our viewer that I regret that we don't have a follow-up of public policies in our country. In the Amazon is the same thing. See, it's the British way back in the beginning of the past century, they established the public sewage system in Manaus, and they brought the sewage system matrix to Manaus, and we need to retake investments, and it's a shame to the state of Amazonas that we don't have, for example, in Brasilia, the percentage is the treatment of a sewage system, the treatment of solid waste. It's a shame that it's not done properly in the city of Manaus. Well, when Mauro says something so brilliant, it's a risk to say anything, to add anything. I agree with you, Mauro. Well, we're discussing this issue in the Senate. Manaus was privatized the it's the sewage and water system was privatized. So this issue involving sewage, the sewage system, Manaus is still presents very low rates, and Mauro and Júlio Pinheiro are aware of that. But you see, the private management of the water supply department is really doing and bringing a betterment in the water supply for the population of Manaus. And solid waste, sewage system. You see, small township are not attractive to the private sector. So we have to create a tool to provoke and promote interest for those companies to invest. So we have some townships that are very, very far away, and this is another a very large difficult to establish the sewage system in those cities. So the public policies can have to be respected, and what I want to say is that in the Amazon we have a system that can use private and government investments to invest in some projects, like projects that will beneficiate the sewage system, for example, in the city or the interior. I am very optimistic, and if we compare today's reality in the interior, uh, 40 years ago, if we compare it, and Mauro, in the beginning of his career, he had to live in. So there's been improvement in the past 40 years, but there's a lot to grow. We have 12 minutes altogether. There's a question here from Emmanuel Marçal. Manaus has not solved the problem with solid waste. We have a lot of garbage that is collected every day, and it is a problem to be solved. So one of the first auditings that we did was on solid waste. And this was back in 2010. The law demands that all the townships so the only state then that reached that goal was the state of Amazonas. This was in 2012. Only 499 townships in Manaus presented reports of reduction. And Manaus, with 59 townships, it was 61 61 townships delivered the plan of solid waste treatment. We have done environmental auditing all over the Amazon, and we are promoting it in other parts of Brazil. The Volta. So after this being in this classroom all morning, thank you to all of you. Thank you, Minister Mauro Campbell, Senator Eduardo Braga, Dr. Sérgio Leitão. Thank you, Antônio Silva, Dennis. Thank you all. And Júlio, thank you very much for putting together this important web conference. So on the environment, thank you to the public on behalf of the audit court. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to always take more steps, and because this is important for the audit court of the state of Amazonas, we were happy to greet all of you. For the final speech, Marita. Thank you very much for being part of this web conference. It was a pleasure to have you with us. For me, it was really very gratifying, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity to participate, to learn with all of you lecturers. I hope that the environmental business school that is being born in Manaus, and maybe this is something, a platform that will be very practical to move and to deepen issues that were approach here. So now we discuss how to improve the growth of a bioeconomy that is strong and I believe that this has to obey a process, not a process of design project, but to consider that as a project of program of 10, 15 years. I heard when the senator said the this interaction between the market and the public sector. And this interaction, the continuity, the follow-up, going go, going through the different governments, this regional governments, this will be very, very important. If we don't have that, I was in the Amazon in 1970. I've been from far away, always connected to what happens in the Amazon. So I believe that in 2030 have a new economy in the Amazon and in the state of Amazonas, but only if we create a platform and you can move forward having interactions like this one this morning. Thank you, Dr. Marita. Sérgio Leitão. All participants. Thank you for the invitation to be here. And I just like to say that what moves me, we're talking about the passion and what drives us to get up every morning. Dennis, now I have the perception. But interesting that it's many players are converging to the same issues, to the same objectives. You see, the treatment that the issues they received in the past is not accepted anymore, isolating us from the public. Now we discuss controls involving the economical aspects. So I believe that the presence of Dennis in the council, this will give the Amazon a very good chance. So, Mauro, everything is different now, and how can we play with the economical differences involving the social and the environmental? So this understanding is common, this opportunity is available, but we have no illusions about our understanding. We have to build the factors that this idea of bioeconomy become a reality and concrete to all, and not only a tool that will not be used and turn into income and jobs. This is what I think happened this morning. Suggestions for a good work agenda that will bring the bioeconomy to play a role in a set of economical opportunities in the industrial sector of Manaus. Thank you, and I wish you all health to Brazil and the people of the state of Amazonas. Thank you. Well, now, Mauro Campbell, you for final considerations. Julio, presidents and lecturers, Sérgio Leitão, senador Eduardo Braga, Dennis, Tonho Silva, all of you viewers, I think we reached our goal. We learned a lot, and I'm happy to know that we have projects that are being implemented that will motivate new public policies. Rita, in Brazil, people don't understand well the public management with administration. The public management, it can change, but the administration can't. So I hope that one day in Brazil we have that vision. Otherwise, we won't be able to build public policies that will follow. Thank you, Mario Mello. Thank you to all the advisors of the audit court. Thank you. We dedicate this program today, our colleague that is sick today, Antonio Silva. Thank you, Dennis Benev. Long time no see. Eduardo Braga, and all of you that lectured this morning. Thank you. I think that we accomplished what we planned to achieve, and I think will be very interesting for now in the future. We have to think the Amazon in the way we thought here this morning, establishing the initiatives, working for the development of our people and the people of the state of Amazonas. Thank you all. Thank you.